Guys, so we have an urgent breaking news coming out. Nuclear testing update. Energy Secretary Chris Wright classified President Trump comments when it comes to testing nuclear weapons. Now, he's saying that there won't be any explosions or stuff like that. So let me just pull up this information really quick here. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So Energy Secretary Chris Wright clarifies, comments that were made last week by the US President on Truth Social about renewed nuclear testing during an appearance on Fox News, the Sunday briefing. Now, Mr. Wright told Fox News, Peter, that people wouldn't see explosions or anything similar to previous nuclear tests carried out in the United States, saying, I think the tests we are talking about right now are system tests. These are not nuclear explosions. These are what we call non-critical explosion. Okay, so basically that's something similar that Russia has done. Russia has done something like that. There was no explosion. There was just testing against certain equipments. So we're gonna see what's going on here, guys. This is a big breaking news. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Once again, thank you so much for your support. So this one here won't be the mushroom cloud. All right, and won't be none of that type of stuff going on. This is going to be like testing the system, possibly, who knows, maybe one of those nuclear alarm and that alert the public of incoming ICBM, stuff like that. So Chris Wright elaborated that such tests involve all the other parts of a nuclear weapon to make sure they deliver the appropriate geometry and they set up the nuclear explosion, but do not include actual atomic detonation. All right, so once again, Newsweek reached out to the White House regarding testing nuclear tests Sunday. But what happens if there's a war and we drop one of these nuclear and there's nothing? It just malfunction. I mean, do they actually test some of these nukes every 10 years? A lot of these nuclear has been sitting since the 50s. They've been sitting in underground storage. A lot of them probably malfunction. To keep those nuclear upgraded and updated, it costs a lot of money. Every day it costs like possibly millions or perhaps billions of dollars. The Pentagon referred to the news to a statement provided last week by Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, saying America will ensure that we have the strongest, most capable nuclear arsenal so that we maintain peace through strength. So why it matters? Well, the U.S. nuclear weapons policy has global ramification impacting diplomatic relations and international security. It says here, the U.S. last conducted a nuclear test in 1992 at the Nevada National Security Site underground. In 1996, the country signed onto a comprehensive testing nuclear ban treaty, which bans all nuclear test explosion, whether for military or civilian purposes. However, the Senate rejected its ratification in 1999. So they've been doing their tests underground in Nevada. And the last time they done such a test was back in 1992. So with rivals like Russia and China and Iran accelerating their nuclear programs, the U.S. Commander-in-Chief Administration public signals have drawn close scrutiny from lawmakers the public, and America's allies and adversaries. Wow. Now, the clarification from Chris Wright provides new insight on the administration approach to nuclear deterrence and the ongoing debate about how best to maintain the safety and reliability of the U.S. arsenal while avoiding breaches of international bans on nuclear detonation. So these are very important updates. So we here thinking that it might be some kind of mushroom cloud, a huge explosion, 4K, high quality, and sending a message to the world. But it's not going to be that. It's just testing the system. That's all. So on Truth Social last week, U.S. President wrote that the U.S. has more nuclear weapon than any other country. I don't know how is that possible. I think Russia has like 5,500, and I think we have like 52 or 53. China has like 300 or maybe 600. France, they have 300. UK, I think they have like 250. And then you have India and Pakistan. They have 180 apiece. And I guess Holy Land, they might have, I don't know, maybe 10. But from what I heard, Russia has more by 300. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief added, oh, give me a second here. On Truth Social last week, the U.S. commander wrote that the U.S. has more nuclear than any other country, saying it was accomplished including a complete update and renovation of existing equipment during his first term. Now, the president added, because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. The bear is second, and the red dragon is a distant third, but will be even within 5 years because of other countries' testing programs. I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. All right, so once again, he had instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons. According to Chris Wright, it ain't going to be explosions. It ain't going to be no mushroom cloud. It's just going to be testing the system, making sure that the equipment is 100% good, and just regular basis. On Wednesday, reporters aboard Air Force One asked the U.S. president about his post, seeking details about what it would look like for the U.S. resuming such test. We're going to do some testing, the president said. Other countries do it. If they're going to do it, we're going to. Now, he declined to provide further details. And during his appearance on Sunday briefing, Mr. Wright was asked by Peter if residents near the U.S. military nuclear testing site in Nevada should expect to see a mushroom cloud at some point. Chris Wright responded, no. No worries about that. Ain't nobody gonna see no mushroom clouds. The Federation of American Scientists estimate that the U.S. has a nuclear stockpile of about 3,700 warheads, with about 1,700 deployed. Now, let's stop here for a second, guys. So, out of 3,700 in the storage, and these 3,700, I believe half of that is not strong, very powerful, because it's been sitting for a very long time. Out of 3,700, the U.S. has 1,700. That's 100% accurate. Is good. It could cause a lot of damage. So they have these 1,700 deployed, locked and loaded, ready, just in case Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. So 1,700 is locked and loaded. There's possibly some in Wyoming. There's some in nuclear submarines in the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. There's some in other places around the world. All right. 1700, while the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute puts the total U.S. inventory at 5,177, with Russia at 5,459. You have Supreme notes that Russia and the USA together possess around 90% of all nuclear weapons. The US and the Soviet Union engaged in a nuclear arms race during the Cold War. Only North Korea has conducted a nuclear test detonation this century, the last in 2017, though Russia and China have tested delivering system but not warheads, according to the Associated Press. Beijing and Moscow have intensified their nuclear equipment program in recent years, but neither has confirmed violation of the testing moratorium. Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said on Friday that the Pentagon is moving quickly on the U.S. Commander directive. He said during a meeting with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations that the department will work with the Department of Energy on nuclear testing, saying that the commander was clear. We need a credible nuclear deterrent. Whenever a commander calls the Department of War to start testing nuclear, obviously there's something going on. Senator Mark in Arizona left the blue, wrote on X Thursday, new nuclear tests are unnecessary escalation by a U.S. commander who doesn't seem to be paying attention. Okay. The Red Dragon and the Bear haven't conducted a recent test of nuclear warhead. It's been decades. If we resume testing our weapons, which we have no reason to do, the Red Dragon will likely begin a test program. Now, this only helps them advance their technology and start an arms race. Read your briefing material, Mr. President. Yeah, this is the reason why the Red Dragon and the Bear are advanced and hypersonic. And we not, because people like you, Mr. Mr. Mark, people like you keep us behind while foreigners are passing us with advanced technology. Our hypersonic is not 100% that accurate compared to the Bear and the Red Dragon. Even North Korea hypersonic is stronger than ours. But for the past few decades, we have commander and administration that allow foreigners to bypass us with all these advanced technologies. Mr. Corey, the VP for studies at the Carnegie Endowment for Nuclear Peace, told NPR, I think a decision to resume nuclear testing will be extremely warning. It will do more to benefit our adversaries than the U.S. Mr. Ernest, American nuclear physicist, former Secretary of Energy and CEO of the Nuclear Threat Initiative, in a statement on Thursday, if explosive testing were to resume, it will mark the end of a three-decade-long moratorium on U.S. nuclear testing. Testing nuclear is unnecessary for the sleeping giant national security. Unwise because it will invite our adversaries to do the same, and unwelcome in communities close to the test site. You have Vice Admiral Richard, nominee to lead U.S. Strategic Command, said at a Senate hearing last week, I don't have insight into the president's intent. I agree that could be an interpretation. So what happens next? The U.S. Commander Administration has not announced any timetable for a resumption of explosive tests, and top officials have continued to emphasize non-nuclear nature of planned activities. The situation continues to be closely monitored by lawmakers and international observers, with calls for further transparency and discussion. All right, so that's where we are right now. So Energy Secretary Christopher Wright is saying we don't need to worry about any mushroom clouds. There won't be any explosion going on. We're not gonna be seeing that 1950 videos, you know, the big mushroom cloud. We're not gonna see that. It's just going to test the system again, see if the button is working properly, make sure everything is up to date. But they do that stuff almost every day, I guess. I mean, they make sure that these things are properly functioning. Again, so ain't no difference. I don't know what testing they're talking about, but these type of tests, it happens almost every day. Again, U.S. military always check these nukes. The 1700 that is active right now, deployed, those nukes is always being checked on, tested, and making sure that everything's working properly. So again, this is where we at right now, guys. Very important update, nuclear testing updates, and I will keep you informed with this news. Share the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.